everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we have a returning guest. Listen, he's a producer, he's an actor, and he's part of the Slasher 15 team. I have with us, coming back to the Horror Room, Michael McGlynn. Michael, welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Travis, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, brother, man, it's a pleasure always to have you back on, man. Listen, especially as a DMVer, man, it's always good to have you back on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, man. Dude, we're always kind of caught in that same rut, man, with the whole 495.
Yes,
so there's a bond there.
Most definitely. Listen, man. So you the Slasher 15 crew. You guys got a lot going on. I mean, you have Go Away, you got a Slasher Nurse, and you got a premiere coming out for that, which I'm excited to see. And then I love the first one, but the second one is in production or in pre-production, which is Bloody Summer Camp 2 Red Horizon, man. So you guys are rocking. You and Dave Kerr, guys are rocking and rolling.
Oh yeah, man! I'm so excited. Yeah, like we've been very, very busy, but I'm so excited, man. I mean, we said Go Away. We just signed distribution with Terror Films. We're hoping to have it out by later this year, at the latest beginning of next year. And yeah, Slasher Nurse, we're in post-production on that one, but we are finishing up post-production as we speak, and right now we are gunning for a October premiere, all if everything goes according to plan.
Nice. Now, are you guys going to do that in, what's that town called? Bloomberg? No, what's the town called in Pennsylvania?
Mooresville. If they would like to have a copy of our film to watch, to view, we would be more than happy to. I know we've actually played there before. I know Bloody Summer Camp actually did play there, and we got a really great reception of that one. Had a really good turnout as well. So I mean, I'm definitely game for that. With Go Away, we actually premiered that one in Winchester at the Alamo Draft House.
Nice.
A part of I'm sorry, I forget the name of it's a great awesome movie group. They host horror movies out there. Really good bunch. If you go on the Winchester Alamo page, you can find them. They're real easy to find, but they host not only mainstream horror movies, but they also cater to the indie horror people as well. They love them just as much as the mainstream. Really awesome people.
Love it, man. Love it. So I love Bloody Summer Camp 1. By the way, streaming on Tubi for anyone who wants to see it. It's such a fun movie. By the way, you have a great role in it. I love the wig and everything. And now you're coming back with a sequel. Bloody Summer Camp 2 Red Horizon. Tell us a little bit about Bloody Summer Camp 2.
Bloody Summer Camp 2. So this one, Bloody Summer Camp 1 took place in the 80s. For the sequel, we're making it, I believe it's 6-8 years later. So we're now actually is reopening now in the mid-90s. So now we're going to try bringing that 90s nostalgia. So as I joked, oh great, let's bust out the jeans and the flannels. But I'm really excited for it. Dave wrote, once again, a really awesome script that just kept on getting more and more layers just by a lot of really just crowdfunding was a big part of that. But just the fans coming together and a lot of just stars aligning up properly. We were blessed to get Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan back from the original, back for the sequel. And then we brought on some new faces. One that we've worked with before, just not in the Bloody Summer Camp series, which is Darcy from the Joe Bob Last Drive-In show.
Nice.
We worked with her on the Slasher Nurse. She actually played the original nurse in the Slasher Nurse at the hospital. And then we brought on two brand new faces that we have not worked with before. One of them is actually the host of the Last Drive-In himself, Joe Bob. He's going to be coming back as the camp. He's going to be coming on as the new camp owner, reopening the camp along with his son, who is our other celebrity that we are just announced recently. We have just signed on Nathan Basil, the man who played Leslie Vernon from Man Behind the Mask, a very, very big cult favorite of mine, and actually it is one of Dave Kerr's absolute favorite films. We've actually been trying to work with Nathan for actually ever since Blaze Summer Camp, if I'm not mistaken. We've always reached out to him, and he's always shown interest, but it's always been stars having a line one thing or another. Either scheduling was an issue. The man actually does teach full time, at the if I'm not mistaken, I think it might be at the Juilliard, if I'm not mistaken, that he actually teaches acting at. Yeah, I mean it's a big time job, so catching him at the right times was always hard too. With that being such a very full time job and everything, but for this one, the stars finally lined up after three movies later. We finally were able to make it work, and we're absolutely excited to have all of them on board. And we have a awesome brand new cast, a whole mess of new faces. I've been told, Dave, I'm actually a little intimidated a little bit about this one because in all of our other films, we had a lot of the same faces we worked with before, but because it was a sequel to this one, we knew most of our friends that we worked with in the past. We just couldn't bring it back for this one because we used almost all of them for the first one. So we had to really go out there and find a lot of new faces, and I couldn't be happier with our selection. Everyone's auditions were phenomenal, and we actually held a script reading right here at my place. It was about 2 weeks ago, and it absolutely blew my mind away. The DP was here too, watching the whole thing. Even he said, "I think that's got to be one of our best script readings ever." And just the chemistry with everyone. It was almost like they already all knew each other when most of them had never met each other before. So I thought that was really awesome. But back to what I was saying. It's the camp's reopening now, and there's a whole new crop of people. Felissa Rose is still there as one of the head of camp counselor owners, and she's and she's her normal ways, still her mean Miss Crawl self, and Dave Sheridan is now working as the groundskeeper. He's no longer working for the law enforcement.
I love his character in the first one. Oh,
and trust me, one of the great things about working with Dave Sheridan is that in the first one, he did a lot of ad-libbing. The man is an ad-libbing genius, but he also knows how to work it, because even with the scenes that I had with him, right before we started doing our scenes, he actually pulled me off to the side and was telling me that, hey, look, I'm going to kind of shoot from the gun in the hip here, so just let me go on my little tangents. When I hit this line here, then that's when you go ahead and you can insert in yourself, or you want to tweak it a little, that's fine. Just make sure you end with this line right here, so I know when I can jump back in again. So it's kind of that way he made sure he always got the main point across, but always kind of did his own little thing though too. And I think one of the best examples ever, and for anyone who's watched Blaze Summer Camp, was that scene when Dave Sheridan was interrogating all the counselors and going down that lineup, and he was spouting them off, calling them all those different 80s TV show references. That was all his ad-libbing. We were so
really.
We were terrified at first because we were loving it, but we were flipping out our phones oh my god, because Blaze Summer Camp 1 took place in '86, and even though we knew they were '80s references, we had to make sure they were at least '86 or prior. And the man did his homework. I give him credit because everything was pre-'86. I'm all right, we're safe.
I love this character in the movie. Now, your character dies in the first movie. So, and you being this one. So, what's your role in part two?
My role in part two, I am actually playing the brand new deputy because Dave Sheridan was fired, and the old deputy, played by Rick Germain, has now actually been promoted to the new sheriff, and I am now hired on. I am playing Deputy Dewey Wiseman. I'm a very not so bright deputy, very easy to get one on me. Matter of fact, I even come with my own canine dog in the film, and it's pretty much very led to believe that the dog probably should be in a higher position than I am. which, funny enough, is actually played by my actual dog, my German
Really?
Shepherd. Yep, she is trained. She actually has done some filming. When everyone gets to see Go Away when it comes on distribution, you'll all get to see her for a little bit. She does have a small little scene in the opening of Go Away.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Michael, one thing that you and your team at Slasher 15 do so well is crowdfunding. Like, you guys always blow it out of fucking water when it comes to crowdfunding. What is the key to your success?
Honestly, I think it varies from a lot of different things. It's not just one thing. It's multiple things. And one of the great things about Dave has always said repeatedly that if anyone ever has any questions about their crowdfunder or starting one, he is happy to answer any of your questions. He's always been a very, very good and very gracious about that. But I think the key tricks are multiple things. If you look at our crowdfunder history, like when Dave started off in the very beginning, before Blaze Summer Camp, Dave made two films. He made Curse of the Slasher Nurse and a sequel to that called Return of the Slasher Nurse. They were both on very low budgets. If I'm not mistaken, I think the first one, Curse, was in the ballpark of, I want to say he got like $1,500, like $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, peanuts, obviously.
Micro, yeah.
And then return, he got 7,000. I think it was so give or take. Like I said, don't quote those numbers, but they're in that ballpark area. But I think what happened is that one of the golden rules is no matter how much or how little funding you get, make the film. Bring it out, get it out there, show everyone, and keep making films. And the key trick is every time you do that next film, be open to criticism. I mean, we are always open to criticism. Because sometimes there could be some valid points in there, and we understand that. I mean, like Blaze Summer Camp, for example. Some people complained about the time limit being 2 hours long. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it is a little longer for a horror movie. I mean, it didn't bother me, but, some people with shorter attention spans, I could see that being a problem. And, it's a fair argument that, I'm not going to deny that. And could we have cut and made it shorter? Yeah, we could have. But part of the problem was we just had so much freaking fun making this film, and the end product, we were just so happy with it. We just didn't want to cut anymore. And believe it or not, to all those who thought the 2 hour one was bad, do me a favor. Don't ever find the Indiegogo version of the uncut version, because that bad boy. Really? Yeah, that bad boy's 2.5 hours long. Oh. So trust me, we already cut it down a lot of it, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to cut it down anymore because we loved the mixture. We felt like we found that perfect yin and yang between making some really good camp horror, but throwing in some good tongue-in-cheek comedy along with it that we thought really would bring that vibe back. And all the cool 80s nostalgia, we worked hard to make all that happen. We didn't want to cut that out. It costed money to make that too.
I bet. But don't you find it weird? So I'm 41, right? And I've said this many times. Like, it seems like my attention span is getting shorter and shorter when it comes to entertainment. And and I don't know if it's because we're in the TikTok, YouTube, short movie, short film era of society right now. But like, I've noticed a 90-minute, anything over a 90-minute movie, unless it's something that really catches my attention from the beginning, it's hard for me to sit through it. And I mean, I know even like with my YouTube my content, a lot of people are like, boy, a half an hour interview, I can't sit through and watch a half an hour video. You cut it down. You need to cut it down like 5 minutes. I'm like, but what can you get out of a 5-minute interview? You know what I mean?
You barely can barely get past the dispensaries at that point.
Yeah,
we just don't say hi to each other by that point.
Yeah, so I'm like, I hope this is not the trend that we're going in. That shorter is better, but sometimes, now listen, I've seen some movies that were like 2 2.5 hours long, and I'm like, boy, there's a lot of filler in this movie. This could be knocked down. But like you're talking about Bloody Summer Camp, I love that movie. I mean, it captured my attention from the beginning. So it really, I didn't even notice it was 2 hours long, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, but yeah, I mean, it's like so, like like I get some of the criticism. Some people are just going to throw hate and hate. I mean, one of the ones I always love, like always like when I get the negative comments, that like when people like, but on the same note though too, we also like even though we find it funny, we actually wear it as a badge of honor, like to a fine degree. But like like with Blaze Summer Game, once again a good example, people are like, yeah, like this is no Friday the 13th. I'm like, oh, you think we had a Friday the 13th budget? I'm flattered. I'm flattered you even thought we were in that realm.
But it seems like horror fans, especially not horror fans, are getting picky now, which I think is a good thing because it helps with the creative juices. But at the same time, when it comes to indie horror films, I always give indie horror films a little bit more slack than I do the big budget ones because the indie horror, you're working on a smaller budget, you have certain restraints that you have to work with. So everything's not gonna everything's not gonna be perfect.
Oh no! I mean, I've even I found myself almost veering more towards a higher love for indie. Like you said, are they perfect? No, not like no, they're not. But what I get to see though, I get to see the full creativity actually come to light. Because once you go with these big budget studios, like there's always things like will this make money? If not, what can we start in this to make money? It's not always about what the best story is, what's going to capture people. Even though I think that it would be the better course of action, personally speaking, because it's the long term effects. I mean, we didn't get all these Friday the 13th because part one was mediocre, or we didn't get all these Halloweens because part one was mediocre. They were a great movie that were well written and well loved, and well taken care of. That people wanted to see more of those. They wanted to come out and see more. If you just punch one out and just try to do whatever you can to start to make whatever you can to make the most money and hurt the story. Well, will you make some more bucks during that movie? Yeah, but if you were trying to make a franchise, then you kind of ruined it already. I mean, so I actually kind of prefer indie in a lot of those ways because you're never going to see like the big budget studios do like some of these films you see being out and about. Some of them actually sound really cool. You're like, hey, all right, that's a pretty cool idea. And then some are just so out there crazy that I feel you're like, just because of where you're going with this, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, exactly. And I love one of the things I brought back on my channel is the Tubi Tuesday because I love going on to Tubi and just picking a random indie horror movie, somebody who I've never interviewed, something just by the poster, it just grabs my attention. And because yes, listen, you're going to run into quite a few that are whoa, but there's some hidden gems in there, and I feel like my audience needs to know the hidden gems that are on Tubi and Amazon because there are some really good indie horror movies that no one knows even exist, and I feel like that's so unfair.
Oh, I agree. It's so funny. Like I just recently got my wife hooked up, and caught in that Tubi hole now because I was like, honey, because I kind of saw I knew there was a lot of good content on there, but I had all the other major streaming channels. But I got to the point where I'm like, I'm just not really finding much on there, and I think it was about maybe 3-4 months ago. I was like, I'll flip over to Tubi, and then now and I went over to the category section. I was like, oh my god, horror. Noir horror, Italian horror. Oh my god! They got a section just for slashers. Oh,
you can just go crazy in them, man. You just can go crazy. I could do a Tubi Tuesday for the next 20 years. So
you're never gonna lose content.
They're never gonna lose content on it. Now, all right. Now, you're talking about sequels? Do you think we're going to see a Bloody Summer Camp Part 20 or anything, or do you think Dave is going to at some point be like, enough is enough?
Well, I do know Dave and I have had talks, and we definitely plan on making more movies, and we definitely wanted to do a trilogy at like one of them, if not both of them. Like I know one big one I think we would love to really do is obviously Bloody Summer Camp 3. And I already told Dave that if I get to come back and play Summer Camp 3, then you got to write me in as like the Perry Shin character from Hatchet. Like where Felicity says, you look just like this sheriff and this camp counselor guy. I used to know, like, oh, what are you saying? We all look alike? Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
And of course, Felicity being one of the Hatchet was making him
Now, Michael, I got a personal question to ask you, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I see listen. We're friends on Facebook, but I also see you in the horror groups. You're working with Slasher 15, but I see that you're constantly out there. I mean, you're constantly out there. I mean, you're also starring in the movie that I'm starring in as well as too, Blood and Breakfast.
Yeah.
I see that you have a role in that as well. I mean, you are going. I mean, you got Helvira. I see that you're in that too. By the way, what's going on with Helvira? I've been seeing the posters for that for almost a year. Is that close to?
Well, actually, the one that's out now, I think that's still in post production. Because the first one was Helvira on the Run. And that was one I was actually a part of it. Like that, it was actually a conception short. I really enjoyed doing that one. The director Morgan Wellborn, really good guy. I really enjoyed working with him. Zabette Holder, Sushi. She was, absolutely amazing as Helvira. I thought she was like I told her, it was like if Harley Quinn and Killjoy had a love child. it would be Helvira. I mean, I absolutely loved her character, and I really enjoyed that one because I'm usually the one that's like the goofy, the comical, the overtop one. And this one, like, Morgan wanted to flip the script on me, and he actually made me the straight man in that one. So I really enjoyed that a lot. It was a different angle than I'm used to taking on my comedy. I'm usually like the slapstick guy, not usually the straight man. So playing that was actually pretty cool and stuff. Where like I had to be like the stern and the serious and the one. So that was definitely a fun time. But as far as Morgan's second one, I think he's still in post production on that one. I definitely know they wrapped up filming, even though I'm not in the second one. I was originally supposed to be, but unfortunately, due to the funding, he just could not afford to have me come out, and the scheduling was getting tight for me. A good part of that too was also I just started a brand new job where I actually had to be on a military base really early in the morning, and I just started the job, so I was like, I didn't really have leave to afford to really go off and take like a 4 or 5 days off to film. So it was kind of like, unfortunately, the stars didn't line up properly for me to come out for the sequel, but that doesn't change anything though. I mean, a lot of my friends are in it, and honestly, I wish Morgan nothing but the best on that one. And I plan on catching it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it. The first one was a hoot, and I have no doubt Morgan's second one is going to be just as good, if not even more entertaining, because I know he brought a whole mess of extra new people on for this one, and I know a lot of them. They're all really great people, a lot of great talent in there. So I know I'm excited.
Love it. Well, how do you find time? I mean, you got a full-time job, and but how do you find time to do the Slasher 15? I mean, and you're doing a lot of roles.
Oh yeah, I mean, it definitely does. It definitely does. It takes a lot of juggling. I said, I mean, I have slowed down a little bit of my acting, a little bit especially when it gets time for one of our films. I generally won't take on as many roles. Blood and Breakfast was what was a quick weekend gig, for me, and they were filming in literally my backyard of where I was living and stuff. So I was like, well, this is really convenient. Yeah. And then I'm supposed to be working on a project with Matt Burns.
Matt.
I don't want to say anything more on that one yet because like I haven't been officially announced yet. So I want to, you know, I don't want to. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Like once they say, "Hey, here he is," I have been reached out to, and I absolutely love the role. I think it's a great one. Without giving away the name or anything like that, like just the premise. I pretty much be playing a bit of a bumbling doofus who goes on a blind date with a serial killer.
Nice.
It honestly, like, I don't want to say anymore, but I read the script. I actually really enjoyed it. I found myself chuckling, and especially the character they wanted me to play. I was like, "Oh my god, I can have a lot of fun with this." First thing went through my mind is like, "I'm going to go full Jack Tripper from Three's Company."
Love it. Love it. Now, is this one being? Listen, you don't have to tell me what it is. But is this one being shot in Virginia?
I think it's Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania area, like somewhere in that area. Actually, I want to say it might be even in Maryland, maybe.
Okay. I wonder if it's the same one I'm going to be in, but we'll talk off camera about that.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, shout out to Matt Burns. But Matt Burns, I said it numerous times on my channel. I was like, boy, I wish somebody would just cast me in a fucking horror movie, and then like Matt Burns, like fucking like a guru. I mean, he hooked me up with Blood and Breakfast, and like he sent me, he was like, hey, he's been seeing me roles, but like some of them I'm like, no, I don't think that fits me, you know. But like he even sent me the one for the Barbie one, the what was it, the one in yeah for like the Black Ken. I was like, I think I'm too old for that role. I think I think I'm too old for that role. But thanks to
Awesome.
yeah, Matt's awesome.
Yeah, I've worked with Matt many of times. And yeah, even with Blood and Breakfast, Mark and Donna Burns, I absolutely love them.
Love Mark Burns. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Mark. Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, just straight up, just good people, like good,
Yes.
sweet people, like just trying to make movies that they want to make and that they think others would really enjoy making. So I absolutely, am definitely big fans of theirs. This is actually my second time working with them. I actually did their last film, One of One. I played.
Yes.
I played that one. I actually really enjoyed that one too. I got to let my inner Curly from the Three Stooges out, so I had a lot of fun with that character.
So Michael, listen, you've been on my show and you watch my show, so you know what's up next, right? I'm gonna ask you 3 random hard questions. Are you ready? All right. So, Michael, listen, you've died in many ways in some of the movies that you've starred in. What is the one way that you've died in a movie that you're like, out of all of them, you're like, fuck no, I would not want to die that way?
Okay. Any scene that would involve having live spiders on me.
Ooh.
Like anything like from Arachnophobia, or the one that really got me bad was William Shatner's Kingdom of the Spiders. That movie, I watched that 10 years old. That thing flipped a light switch on my head. It goes, yep, I'm terrified of those things for the rest of my life, forever and ever and ever. I came close. It actually, and I can actually talk about this one because it actually did come out. But Killer Camp Out 2 from Fuzzy Monkey. There's a scene there where the killer gets risen from the grave, and most of the time the killer Gene Blackwell was being played by actually one of our Slasher 15 alumni, Jerome Critton. He was our Red Mask and Go Away. He also plays a detective alongside me in Slasher Nurse, and he's actually one of our cooks in Blaze Summer Camp 2 as well. But he played killer in that one, but there were certain dates that he couldn't make him fill in. So on those dates, I was already the producer on that set, so I filled in for the killers. And one of those was when they were rising from the grave, which kind of worked out because the coffin was a little small. I was able to get into it, but I barely got in. And Jerome's got probably about a good 3 or 4 inches on me. So I'm like, man, Jerome, I don't think you would have been this bad boy. Like it's probably a good thing. Like today was one of those filler days for me. But to add to the effects, Brad asked if it was cool if they put live bugs all over me and stuff. Now, fortunately, there were no spiders in that one because I think we could have had a problem there. It was mostly, if I'm not mistaken, it was mostly like night crawlers, like mealworms, and stuff like that. And honestly, I could really hardly ever tell a difference. Like, because I had I had like a prosthetic like mask on and everything, so anything that was in my face, I couldn't even feel it anyway, because the mask was almost blocking all of it off anyway. I was fully clothed, so I really didn't feel. I think I felt like a couple of them, kind of go along line of my neck and stuff. And then it got to the point where I think Angel Bradford was on set. And she's like, for the right angle purposes, can I just take a couple of these worms, just put them over your face here, and put them over your face here? I was like, yeah, bring it on.
That sounds like an awful fucking way. I mean, I agree. Anything with spiders, ooh,
yeah,
yeah. Actually, by the way, I got bit by a black widow spider once, and I still have the scar on my leg. So, and I didn't know it was a black widow until like I had this big thing that was getting on my leg. And I'm a guy. I kept procrastinating going to the hospital, and then I was driving and I was losing feeling in my leg, like completely. And I went days, and I finally went to the ER. And they were like, "Oh my goodness! If you would have came in like one day later, you would have lost your fucking leg." And because there was poison in it, they couldn't numb it or anything. So they used a hot like scalpel to dig into my fucking leg. I felt all of it. I felt all of it.
Oh,
and then for like 2 months, I had to like pack my leg. I had to use tweezers and like just pack this up and put it all the way down into the wound and clean it. And it was the most fucking horrible thing ever. Ooh, and I still got the scar on my leg from a black widow. So dangerous fucking things.
Yeah.
But for me, any way that listen, any way I've seen in a horror movie to die, I saw one recently where they put a chainsaw in a guy's ass, and it went all the way out his fucking mouth, and I was like, fuck. I'm like, holy shit. And I was like, that is a horrible way to die. Yeah. I mean, that was to me that. And have you seen Bone Tomahawk?
Oh yeah.
That fucking with that tomahawk just slashing. Oh my god. Jeez.
Woo.
Jeez. But people talk about the Terrified Saw. Bone Tomahawk was the first one who did that, and that came out in 2007. Mm-hmm. And it's so much more graphic to me than, and maybe because it's a guy, but it's so much like that scene fucking disturbed me way more than the Terrifier scene with the soul.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think part of that too, like a Bone Tomahawk. I mean, like that felt more like gritty and realism. While with like Terrifier, like it almost had a little bit of that comical like aspect, to it, like like a darkened I'm drawing a blank, like that old school clown from back in the 80s and stuff. Bozo.
Yes.
Yeah, like a really dark, demented Bozo clown. Was committing a murder action in front of you. It was kind of almost on that kind of level for me. I'm like, it's definitely creepy. Don't get me wrong, but it almost has a little hint of like, funny. It's almost like if you see like someone get hit like or a car, riding a bike, and it's not funny. But then after they run over them, the bike, you hear the horn like, wow.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, that's horrible.
It's like it's dark, it's horrible, but you can't help but go.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the second question.
All right.
Who is on your Mount Rushmore of horror villains? So that's your top four.
Top four horror villains. Well, gotta go with my top fave of all time, which is Victor Crawley from the Hatchet series.
Great.
He definitely is going to get one. Gotta give one to Jason. That's where I started my love. Freddy, he was my favorite growing up. Well, I guess
my favorite
goes, and then my fourth one. Oh, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this one, and I'll deserve every little bit of it. Give me Devil Face.
Really? Okay. All right, that's a good one.
But I mean, well, but if I do, but that's more of tongue in cheek because it's one of my. Yeah. But it's also one that it's just there's a lot of love for that film that I love so much. But if I was to do a more serious one. I'll still get a lot of hell for this one probably because people will probably say, "Oh, well, obviously you're going to say Myers next," and I'm like, "Nope." Oh, Leatherface. No. Even though I do love Leatherface, but I'd actually probably go with Chucky.
Chucky, okay. I've heard someone else put Chucky. A lot of people put Chucky. I enjoy Chucky too. I mean, Chucky is definitely, yeah, he's definitely deserves to be up there in my opinion. I mean,
for any other reason, like same as I love Hatchet, like the whole entire series, even the TV shows, minus the Child's Play reboot, which has no connection to any of the stories prior to that anyway. But like Hatchet and Child's Play were both written and directed by the exact same writer and director. Like Adam Green did all the writing and directing for the Hatchet series for all four of them, and same with the Child's Play, it being Don Mancini. Like even the TV show is his too and stuff. Yep. I know he even did an interview, which I think made me fall more in love with him. Is like he said that he always wanted and liked the idea of taking Chucky in different areas and whatever. But if anyone's going to ruin or tarnish like his brand, it's going to be done by his hands and his hands only. And I was like, well, kudos.
Yes. All right, I'm going to shoot to the final question.
All right.
This is a controversial one. Are you ready?
Okay.
How awesome is this fucking slasher nurse? I would see. I was going to trick you to tell me how awesome is this slasher nurse fucking kill scene that I keep hearing everybody talk about.
Oh my god!
Multiple kill scene.
Oh my god! Oh god! The bar.
Can you tell me anything about it?
Oh. Yeah, we had a lot of people come out. One thing I will say that I love that I think a lot of people will notice. This is this is one of many of reasons why I love working with the Slasher 15 family so much, and why like they're like my family, through and through. But like not all of them, but a good chunk of the bar patrons in the bar scene that we've been clamoring about being the big gore fest scene. A lot of the bar patrons are actually the cast alumni from Dave's original Slash Nurse 1 2, because this one that is actually a reboot. But and I love even more why Dave did it because of course we could have gone the greedy route. We could have sold a bunch of roles and possibly to be killed in these scenes or whatever, and people would have bought them up in a heartbeat. But I liked more what Dave Dave's idea was. He's like he wanted to show all the original cast that how much he really appreciated everything they did for them, because like I said, Dave Curse made $1,500 to make $7,000 for the sequel. Barely had enough to afford effects and for location. Everyone was working pro bono, and Dave really wanted to show all of them how much he really appreciated them, and especially all of them being there for him when he couldn't do more for them besides, hey, I will put you in this movie and this movie will come out. So but as far as that original question, the whole entire movie is absolutely freaking insane. Production wise, it is absolutely mind blowing. And I think a good part of that is the fact that we nailed down so many locations. It really is phenomenal. Like all these locations, you get really just add on to the aura of like the whole film experience and stuff. Because I mean, with the slasher nurse, we actually have a hospital. We've got we have this old abandoned stone church. Well, not actually, it's not even abandoned. It's actually still active and still in use. We have this awesome lake. We have this giant like cabin out in the middle of the woods. We have a bar, seen as well, like in this multiple homes where multiple other doctors who are lived in are living and talking to the police at and stuff. It's just there was and even with all of these things like the hospital, like it's so funny. It's kind of almost like Man of Steel. Like I found this out through Man of Steel. I used to work this DoD job, and one of the guys there was a drill sergeant, and he and his wife was a general who happened to be on the base when they were filming Man of Steel. And it turns out if they had any speaking lines in the film, then they were actually one of the actors that they hired. But everyone else in the background, that was legit military personnel and stuff. And, well, slasher nurse is no different when you're at our hospital. Everyone in there, that you see are legitimate hospital personnel. People at the front desk, minus Rick Germain. Rick Germain plays the front desk, but there are people in the front desk. All these other people are legitimate front desk people. They were ecstatic about being a part of the film. We even have some hospital security that are there around certain crime scenes and stuff. That's all legitimate hospital security. They're not just some actors we put in costumes. These are the real deals. And they all so I mean, but yeah, I think people are going to be really impressed because one thing that Dave always says that always resonated with me, and I think the slash nurse, because we got some really good funding for a slash nurse, and I really think Dave's old motto is going to really show like in a big way on this one. But Dave's old motto is that if you give me 20,000. I'm going to give you a $20,000 film. If you give me $60,000, I'm going to give you a $60,000 film, and you will be able to tell the difference. And every time it shows, I mean, just even look at our progressions. I mean, Go Away is going to be coming out soon. Just look at the production quality and Go Away from Blaze Summer Camp, because Go Away, we got more money to make Go Away. Then we got even more money to make the Slasher Nurse. Blaze Summer Camp 2, we're still crowdfunding, but we are already sitting at it being our second highest crowdfunder of all time, only behind the Slashers. Our first one for the Slashers, where we raised $60,000, actually a little over $60,000 on the first campaign. This one, just today, actually, we have officially gone over into the 47,500 marker. So we are 25. Nice. Away from 50,000, and we still have 2 months left on the crowdfunder before we're going to close it out. We are going to do a post production one, but that'll be about 3 months later after we get done filming and stuff. But we're gonna be showing a lot of cool things during the meantime. We're gonna have a lot of cool set photos. You're gonna see all the celebrities on set with us. Maybe even we'll probably let even a few little teases out, to get the taste buds, flowing and getting people excited. Because I really think people really want to see the sequel. I Dave really felt very strongly people wanted to see a sequel to this one. I'll admit I was a little, I was like, well, I think, there's a handful here and there, but I'm not really sure if this is like a really big general one. And well, I was proven wrong once again. Everyone's been coming out in droves, especially right now. Times are not the best for a lot of people. I mean, everything's very expensive area. Like gas has gone up, food has gone ridiculously up. People are really, pinching their pennies, and rightfully so. I don't blame a single person. I'm in the same boat. So I was already anticipating to take a hit on this crowdfunder and maybe not be as big as some of our other ones, and I was floored to see where we're at right now. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, we're actually only we're actually less. We're about we're about we're only $7,000 away from our entire budget we had with for Go Away.
Nice.
Yep, we actually have made we actually raised more money already for this film than all three of our crowdfunders combined for Bloody Summer Camp.
Awesome.
Yep.
Listen, everybody, get over to Indiegogo right now and go ahead and support the Bloody Summer Camp Part 2 Red Horizon. Also, look out for Slasher Nurse and Go Away. And get your ass over to Tubi and check out some Bloody Summer Camp, the original, the first one. I just want to say summer. I want to put the summer first. But Bloody Summer Camp
Nurse.
on Tubi again. On Tubi. Mike, it's been a blast having you on, man. This is fun.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much again for having me back, man. I really appreciate it so much.
Listen, man. Eventually, we're gonna cross paths, man. I was at Creature Feature, and I think you were there. And I keep missing out on. I'm somewhere where everybody else is gonna be, but I miss out on everyone. So I'm like, but eventually, we're gonna cross paths.
Absolutely, we are. No, I'm open. I can maybe try to hit Creature Feature this year. I'm definitely trying to. Usually that one, Haunted Screams, and of course Matt Burns's Carolina Fear Fest. Gosh, love to all of them. I mean, and all of them, all like Craig, Lithium. I always forget his last name. The one who runs Haunted Screams, and Matt. They're all absolutely awesome people who just put on a great con and gives people like all of us a home, like the podcasters, the indie filmmakers, the art, the artists, and of all walks of life. These guys are ones who give us a home and give us a platform to be able to show what we got to everybody, and I just don't, they don't get enough love. So,
I agree.
If you guys are watching this, thank you all so much. Y'all are the freaking best, and thank you for giving us a home.
I agree. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Michael McGlynn. We'll see you next time.
Nice.